So my name's David O. I am one of the consultants working with Discovery Zone, and we wanted to shoot a video to kind of give a little bit of insight as to the changes that you're seeing in the school. Why are they happening? Where are those ideas coming from? What are the principles behind them? So just really briefly, I'm one of the consultants working with Discovery Zone. The other consultant is Julie Watkins. We both have master's degrees from Portland State University. I'm currently pursuing a doctoral degree as well. And we're both inspired by the schools of Reggio Emilia, which is a small town in Italy. And we'll explain why, and we'll explain some of their principles because we're bringing these ideas to Discovery Zone. All right, so here we go. Okay, so from the outset, one thing that I encouraged the teachers at Discovery Zone to do is to think generatively. Instead of converging into solutions and ideas based on, um, our already existing knowledge, our already existing notions, this is a matter of research. We're looking to new ideas, not just the schools of Reggio Emilia. We're looking for the best and brightest ideas in early childhood education. Now, why are we doing this? So, let me zoom out for a little bit and let's think about the real world. And I'm not talking about the future, I'm talking about right now. So, this is a design session happening in Japan. These people are trying to solve problems around overpopulation in Tokyo. And if you notice the way that they're working in small groups. It's creative work. There's not a singular solution to this. There are lots of complex moving pieces. And so they're thinking it's up, it's visible, it's on the walls. If there's a leader, the leader is facilitating rather than barking out orders and telling people what to do for every moment or every second. The work is a little messy, right? And so here's a group of people over at Wyden and Kennedy, which is considered one of the best marketing firms in the world. And if you notice the way they're working, it's very similar to before. Their thinking is up, it's visible, it's on the walls. The leader is just kind of facilitating the group. Creative work can be a little messy. And they're working in small groups as opposed to huge, big groups. Again, you can see the separation of smaller groups instead of bigger groups. But something interesting happens when you Google the word classroom. If you look at the search bar up there, I left it there so that people could see. This is what shows up when you Google the word classroom. Everyone is sitting in rows. It's big, huge groups of people. They aren't working in small groups. The teacher is kind of dictating the schedule and the routine, and there aren't any small group collaborations. There's no creativity. There's no critical thinking, right? It's all conformed. Everyone's doing the same thing. I like to point out that picture on close to the bottom right there where all the kids are raising their hands. You can tell that's an idealized version of a classroom. There was a professional photographer with professional lighting who came in and said, "This is what a great classroom looks like when all the kids are raising their hands," as if that, conformity was the what we wanted for kids. Now, the interesting thing about this is that this kind of classroom is based on a model that was developed 200 years ago when we're talking about education design. These ideas are the same ideas that we saw during the Industrial Revolution. Children sitting in rows at desks and they're oriented towards the front. There's no play, right? It's all fixed on content and subject matter, right? And no one's working in small groups. They're not thinking critically or creatively or collaborating. And this style of education is the same as what we have right now. There hasn't been an innovation, real innovation in education for quite some time. But there are some places that are thinking really differently. So this is a school in Reggio Emilia. This picture would happen to be taken about almost 30 years ago. The teacher's in the middle there, and you can see she's not dictating everyone's time or their experience. In fact, children are pursuing their passion, whether it's music or they're drawing or they're painting or they're working collaboratively or they might be working on their own. But you can see that everybody's working on something different because every person is different. And you can see it here as well. Children working in small groups. Again, this picture was taken many, many, many years ago. And this is a classroom in the United States, in New York actually, inspired by those practices. And you can see that the children are really engaged and they're looking and investigating and searching and they're leveraging what they already know how to do well, which is be curious. Children are curious people. So, like I mentioned before, the schools of Reggio Emilia is a small town in northern Italy, and what they've been able to do in early childhood education is they've generated a movement. So much so that here I am in Oregon talking about their schools. And at the last conference that I attended, I met people from Korea, New Zealand, Australia, from South America, from all over the world. People are inspired by their schools and their ideas. And one of the ideas that they're playing with the teachers at Discovery Zone are playing with right now is this idea of a studio. In Reggio Emilia, they call it an atelier. And the idea of the atelier is a place where there are new combinations of possibilities. And what I mean by combinations, I'm talking about materials and with ideas. That children can take an idea and explore it in a way that they may not be able to do in a conventional classroom setting. By using different materials, by the introduction of these materials by teachers, and perhaps by specialists, such as an artist or maybe a teacher who has some sort of special skill, um, the teachers at Discovery Zone are playing with this idea. Which leads me to my last point. The what really, in essence, what's happening right now is that the teachers are researching themselves. They are launching into a new era of research, and they are looking for these best and these brightest ideas. I wanted to show you one quick thing over here, which is that we've been engaging online for quite some time now, for many months, and we've had several conversations. Um, the teachers are working really hard and they're thinking very differently. And I have to say, I'm really quite proud of them. And I know that you're going to be excited about their new ideas. I know that you probably also have a lot of questions. Um, I would love to interface with you as well. I would say first, talk to your teachers about these new ideas. But I will also have my email available. Here, I'll just write it up here in the search bar up here. Um, and I'll share this with you. So this is my email address. That's my Korean name, Subin. And feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions. All right, take care.